Good afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome to the State of the University Address, sponsored by the Academic Senate. I'd like to thank all of you for being here, and I would especially like to thank our interpreter, Callie Habiger. To begin, let me first introduce myself. I am Professor Susan Coulter from the Department of English. This is my 16th year at ISU, my 10th year on the Academic Senate, and my second year as chair of the Senate. It is an enormous honor to serve in this role. Already quite active a quarter of the way through, we are looking at a promising year ahead. The Academic Senate is the primary governing body at Illinois State University. It is our job to recommend educational policy for the university and to advise the president on its implementation. The Senate allows participation in academic governance by all stakeholders: faculty, students, civil servants, administrative professionals, and faculty associates. We are one of only a handful of Senates nationwide that have significant student representation. Thus, we are an academic Senate, not just a faculty Senate, with both faculty and student governance bodies as subcommittees of our larger Senate. Any member of the academic community may bring issues of concern to the Senate through an appropriate Senate committee or an individual senator. Please feel free at any time to come by, call, or email me. There are many opportunities available to serve either on the Senate itself or on one of its external committees. You will meet and work with colleagues from across campus that you would never otherwise come into contact with. You will also be part of our wider shared governance tradition, an enlightening and enjoyable experience and a defining property of ISU, one that makes ISU a place where the rank and file members of campus are the primary agents of continuity and change. Since last year, the Academic Senate has passed a new, fully revamped Student Code of Conduct, updated a number of outdated academic policies, and approved new policy for a Success Week, designed to give students maximum preparatory time before their final examinations in the absence of a full week between the end of classes and the beginning of exams. We participated in the HLC accreditation process, incorporated the Student Affairs Division into our Planning and Finance Committee, and are strengthening our communication with the Provost's Office regarding the Academic Impact Fund, designed nearly 2 decades ago to ensure continued funding for the tenure track lines at this university. We are now finishing up work on a new protection of minors policy, updates to our existing distinguished and university professors policies, and reviews of evaluation instruments for department and college level administrators, as well as looking into textbook affordability. The Faculty Caucus has begun its 5-year review of proposed revisions to our ASPT policies, including an unprecedented 4 new articles proposed for that policy set. Turning to our main event, President Larry Dietz is here today to give his second State of the University address. In addition to being our president, he is a proud member of the faculty in the Department of Educational Administration and Foundations. He has served as a mentor for the ISU Leads Student Leadership Development Program, currently serves as the convening official of the Illinois Public University Presidents and Chancellors Group, and even doubles as a Shakespearean actor in his spare time. In my first year and a half as Senate chairperson, I have enjoyed a strong working relationship with Dr. Dietz. I have personally witnessed his caring and commitment to ISU students, faculty, and staff. His love of family, friends, and university runs deep. He serves us with pride, and we can be proud to call him our president. As is President Dietz will speak for approximately 30 minutes, and then the floor will be open for questions. Members of the ISU community were also able to email questions to the president in advance. Following the address, please join us for a reception in the lobby. And without further ado, or much ado about nothing, let me ask you to give a warm welcome to the 19th president of Illinois State University, Dr. Larry Dietz.
Thank you very much, Senator Coulter. I didn't know about the Shakespearean reference. I would say that the festival, despite my appearances last year, is in good shape and moving ahead. And maybe this next year they'll move ahead without me, but nevertheless, it was a lot of fun this last year. Colleagues, good afternoon and welcome. I appreciate your taking time out of your busy schedules to join me for my second State of the University message. I'd like to take a few moments to make a few introductions, and when I introduce you, if you would please stand so we could acknowledge you, I would appreciate it. From the Board of Trustees of Illinois State University, we have student trustee Connor Joyce and former student trustee Ellen Shoemaker with us. Connor and Ellen, thanks for being here. We are also honored today to be joined by President Emeritus Dr. David Strand. David? We're also pleased to have with us today leaders in the community and state governance. I will introduce these folks and would ask them to stand, and then we could hold our applause until the end of this. From the office of the Congressman Rodney Davis is Tyler Cravens is with us. Also, State Senator Jason Barrickman, Representative Keith Summer, Representative Dan Brady. Would you all please stand and be recognized? Thank you, gentlemen, for your service. On some college campuses across the country, shared governance is merely a public relations phrase or a soundbite. At Illinois State, it speaks to our true operating philosophy, and in that spirit, I would also like to recognize our campus governance leaders. You met the first one a minute ago, Academic Senate Chair Dr. Susan Coulter. I would also, Susan, if you would please stand, also would like to introduce Civil Service Council Chair Lois Solner, Administrative Professional Council Chair Alex Gorpensky, and Student Body President Ryan Powers. Would you all please stand and be recognized? Thank you for your service. And finally, my spouse and the Illinois State University's First Lady, Marlene Dietz. Marlene, would you please stand? As many of you know, both Marlene and I have experienced the loss of some loved ones in our respective families. Her brother-in-law passed away within the last couple of months, and my brother passed away within the last month. And I just want to say thanks so much for the kind expressions of support that you have given to both of us. We've had thoughts and prayers and cards and people just greeting us as we roam the campus and in the community, and that means a great deal to us. So I just want to say thank you. I've also saved Marlene's introduction for last because I want to say something to all of you from both of us, well beyond the expressions of sympathy, and that's really two simple words, and that is thank you. If I was going to add a few words to that, I would say thank you from the bottom of our hearts. It's been almost 18 months since I was appointed Illinois State's 19th president. I've been a part of higher education for more than 40 years, as an administrator and also in the classroom. I've served at different institutions and in many roles, and I've been a vice president at this university for 3 years. So when the call came and the opportunity presented itself to serve as the president of this university, I felt prepared, at least prepared as one can be, for a role in which I had not served, but I also had observed many, many individuals in this kind of role. I must say there were some anxious initial moments, but I always felt confident in our institution and our people, and that's because Illinois State University has a long and proud tradition of quality. Our standards of teaching, learning, research, and service have no superiors. My faith in our faculty, staff, students, alumni, and other supporters is unshakable. Our strength lies with our belief in and our adherence to our mission, our vision, and most of all, our values, and they are solid as bedrock. So while I never doubted Illinois State's ability to carry forward, Marlene and I did wonder how smooth, or perhaps how bumpy, the transition into our new roles might be. We needn't have wondered at all. You welcomed us with open arms and open minds. You invited us into your homes, into your classrooms, made us a part of your small groups and large organizations. You were honest and forthright with your ideas and opinions, with your compliments and your constructive criticisms, and still are. As Marlene rearranged her successful corporate career to spend her time as a university partner, you offered her your assistance and support, and she and I are grateful for that. You cheered with us to celebrate Illinois State's many, many successes. You also quietly stood beside us as we all mourned following one terrible April morning. Over the years, I've heard these two words, Redbird family, literally thousands of times. In the way that you've treated Marlene and me, we not only understand their meaning, but we also feel your embrace. So again, please accept our two simple words, and that is thank you. As I consider the state of Illinois State University, two other words come to mind, strong and stable. I am quite aware that when we read accounts of the Illinois economy and the extreme challenges facing our state's educational systems, our code agencies and state government, that perhaps the words strong and stable don't exactly leap off the pages for us. Indeed, more than 3 months into FY 2016, we are still without a state budget. There is no current forecast that predicts an end to the gridlock in Springfield. One thing I can promise you, that when an FY 2016 budget is finally delivered, it will be less, and perhaps much less, than we've received in previous years. Illinois public universities will likely see some budget reductions ranging anywhere from 8.5% to 31.5% reductions from last year's appropriation. Although it may be some time before we know the specific number, we're already feeling its effects across the campus. As I communicated to you in July, we will not be able to offer salary increases for this fiscal year. While that's not happened often at Illinois State, I regret it is an unavoidable effect this year. And I want you to know that I am sorry about that. You deserve better, as do millions of private and public sector employees across the state who must forego financial reward for service excellence. During last Saturday's family weekend Redbird football game, Governor Bruce Rauner visited Hancock Stadium, along with several state and national representatives who have children attending ISU for the family weekend activities. I welcomed the governor to the campus, just as I would welcome any elected leader, and I also had the opportunity to spend a few private moments with him. I thanked him for his visit and for agreeing to meet with university presidents later this month. By the way, I'm grateful to Representative Dan Brady for his efforts in bringing the governor to campus and for arranging for presidents to meet with the governor latter part of this month. Our messages have been consistent with all elected officials, and that is that the current budget impasse is having a terrific negative impact on current students and on students who are now making decisions on where they will attend college this next year. On Monday, I brought a similar yet more elaborate message to Charleston, Illinois, where I joined college presidents and students in testimony before a Senate Higher Education Committee meeting on the campus of Eastern Illinois University. I told the committee that Illinois State University is proud to be doing its part to keep Illinois students in Illinois public universities offering a high-quality education at an affordable investment. I said that Illinois State is proud to be doing its part to assist the students who need our help the most, that this year, more than 4,000 ISU students are eligible for the Monetary Award Program, or MAP grants, at a value of more than $15 million. Since there is currently no state budget for FY 2016, there has been no MAP disbursement, so Illinois State, like other public universities, is holding students harmless so they can attend classes this semester. I testify that Illinois State is proud to be doing its part to provide tuition waivers to those who so richly deserve them, our veterans, our National Guard members, and special education teachers. Though the state is no longer reimbursing public universities for these waivers, Illinois State this year is investing in the education of 680 of these students at a cost of the internal budget of $6.5 million. I also talked about the financial impact on Illinois State. We've placed a freeze on administrative hiring, and thus far, 76 administrative-related positions have been eliminated are held vacant for an annual savings of $3.6 million. We have once again pushed back timelines for millions of dollars in renovation and maintenance projects that are not safety critical. We've also put a hold on most major equipment purchases and have curtailed university-related travel. One thing that we have not yet been forced to do is to shortchange our students in the classroom. We are fortunate that our robust freshman class and total enrollment has allowed us to keep our professors in the classroom and offer students a number of course sections necessary to provide for their education and keep them on track for an on-time graduation. And finally, I testify that while Illinois State University is proud to be doing its part, it is now time for the state to begin doing its part, to end the budget stalemate and approve fair and predictable funding for public higher education in Illinois. Well, while our voices may have an impact, ultimately we cannot control what happens at the state level. But what we can control is our attitude and our performance, and that is a terrific story. It is precisely why I say Illinois State University remains strong and stable. So why do I choose to use those two words, strong and stable? Well, first, we are still here and we are still working. If that doesn't sound particularly fulfilling, believe me, not every public university in Illinois is saying that today. During the 2014-15 academic year, Illinois State reached no fewer than 8 national rankings that reflect our quality and our value, and that doesn't include many of the national rankings earned by our athletics department. This year, we are off to a similar great start. In July, we began our fiscal year with news that the leading higher education publication in the country, the Chronicle of Higher Education, named Illinois State, quote, a great college to work for, end of quote, as evidenced by our innovative and high-quality teaching. We were the only public university in Illinois named to that list. In August, the Washington Monthly ranked Illinois State 4th in the Midwest as a, quote, best bang for the buck institution, and we were the only university from Illinois ranked in the top 5. Also in August came word that Illinois State earned full reaccreditation from the Higher Learning Commission, full reaccreditation. This 10-year accreditation is continuous until the 2024-2025 academic year and comes with no concerns or monitoring. That's the highest level of success a university can achieve relative to accreditation. And most recently, a U.S. News & World Report ranked ISU in the top 80 of best national universities. The university maintained its level of excellence in subcategories of the report, keeping 34% of classes with 20 students or fewer, even with a rising number of students. We remain in the top 10% nationally for retention and graduation rates and continue to be recognized as a national model for civic engagement, one of our core values. Our student loan default rate, already at a U.S. low, is expected to drop to 2.7% this year, compared to a national average of nearly 14%. What that says to me is that the investment in an education at Illinois State is a good investment. The return on that investment is very positive, that students are getting jobs, they're getting good jobs, well-paying jobs, and they're responsible citizens paying back those loans. Very, very proud of that. To our faculty, staff, and students, you are the ones who make Illinois State a shining example of what is working in public higher education and what is still working in the state of Illinois. Students and their families believe in our stories and believe in our success. The competition between in-state and out-of-state colleges and universities for students is fierce, and the number of high school graduates has declined demographically across the state. Students have many options. They seek the best higher educational value available, and then they vote with their feet. Our data shows that Illinois State remains a popular destination with a quality education, and our numbers remain strong and stable, those two words again. Last year's freshman enrollment set a 25-year record high. But as they say, records are made to be broken, and this year's freshman class enrollment total 3,632 students, now a 26-year high. In this tough economy, in this extremely competitive student recruiting environment, in this troubled state, that is an amazing achievement. The high numbers also come with strong academic quality and strong diversity. The freshman incoming ACT remains near a 24 with a high school grade point average of 3.4 on a 4-point scale. Our total student body grew by 1%, and total enrollment for this fall is 20,788 students. 1/5 of the student population comes from traditionally underrepresented groups. This year, we had an 8% increase in our Hispanic student population and a 6% increase in our African American student population, thus becoming the largest class in the last 26 years and the most diverse class in the history of the university. My congratulations go to our enrollment management and admission staffs, our financial aid and university housing teams, and the staff from Leap Forward who go into battle every day to try to ensure that our information systems understand each other. And I would like all of us to give a big round of applause to this dedicated group of staff members. Students and their families see Illinois State as a sound investment, one that pays dividends long after the campus experience ends. When it comes to giving back to the university, that feeling is matched by our alumni corporate partners, friends, and members of the campus family. 1 month ago, Illinois State released its private fundraising totals for FY 2015, and the numbers tell a powerful story of the investment in success. For the second straight year, ISU broke its private fundraising record, tallying $36.8 million in total productivity compared to $19.5 in the previous year. We also counted 1,190 first-time alumni donors. Many of those new donors made their gift on Giving Tuesday in December of 2014, which was a one-day online campaign that raised more than $340,000 for the university. The year-end statistics include almost 12,000 alumni donors, more than 1,850 scholarships awarded, and 34 newly established scholarships. I note for the record that no one donated any money to pay our utility bills. The next one's better. Repave our parking lots or replace worn-out pipes. Private gifts do help enhance campus facilities, do help enhance academic programs, do help in attracting and retaining talented faculty and staff, and do help in providing student scholarships, but they're not meant to replace state support. This year, planning continues for the university's next comprehensive fundraising campaign that will reinforce our mission, vision, and values under Educating Illinois, our strategic plan. When we are ready to go public with the campaign, I am confident the Redbird community will respond to our call for action. I want to say congratulations to everyone who creates and maintains the university environment so worthy of private investment, and to those who cultivate and receive these gifts for Illinois State, and thank you to everyone who contributes to our future of excellence. Let's give those folks a round of applause. So, what is on our horizon? I wish I knew, but I can tell you a few things. Our near-term future includes a very ambitious 2015-16 agenda. Illinois State began the 2014-15 academic year with 4 interim vice presidents and 1 vacant cabinet position. Our goal for last year was to fill 2 vice presidencies, and working as a university community, we accomplished that goal. Following national searches, I was pleased to appoint Dr. Janet Cresci as our Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost, and Pat Vickerman as our Vice President for University Advancement. Although it is ultimately the responsibility of the President to make the final decision regarding vice presidential appointments, I want you to know that in both searches, I closely reviewed all of the feedback provided by the search committees and the forum participants, and I heeded your advice. In other words, your collective selections were my selections. I want to thank Janet and Pat for their outstanding work in their interim roles and for the excellent leadership they provide today in their continuing roles. Janet and Pat, would you please stand and receive our thanks? As I speak, the search for the next Vice President for Student Affairs is already underway. Through our shared governance guidelines, I've appointed psychology professor Renee Tobin as search chair, and we await selections for committee members through our faculty, administrative professional, civil service, and student selection processes. I expect the search to last throughout this semester and into the spring 2016 term, with an appointment announced before the end of the academic year. Dr. Brent Patterson is serving as the interim Vice President for Student Affairs and is providing superb leadership for the Division of Student Affairs. Brent, would you please stand and accept our thanks for your service? Meanwhile, after considerable thought and in consultation with our shared governance leadership, I've appointed Greg Ault to a fixed term as continuing Vice President for Finance and Planning through December of 2017. Greg has been an integral part of Illinois State's finance leadership for more than 2 decades. He's earned the trust and respect of the campus community, and during these chaotic economic circumstances, I can't think of anyone better suited to navigate the financial maze in Springfield than Greg. So I want to thank Greg for accepting this appointment, and would you please stand for recognition? Last spring, I also filled a vacant cabinet position. That position is the Director of State Government Relations. Since this person spends a great deal of time at the state capitol, you may not have met him quite yet. We are fortunate to lure him away from the Illinois Board of Higher Education, and he's done an exceptional job of representing our interests at the state government level. Dr. Jonathan Lackland is the Director of State Government Relations, and would you please stand and be acknowledged? In addition, we are in the midst of searches for the deans of the College of Business and the Mennonite College of Nursing. So clearly it is a busy year for search committees on the campus. It will also be a busy year for the development of an initiative I announced during last year's State of the University address. That is the establishment of a Center for Civic Engagement. Since last January, a civic engagement task force led by Dr. Jan Patterson has been researching and evaluating best practices and center models at other institutions and developing a timeline and task blueprint for what will be a multi-year implementation process. The task force delivered their report to me in July, and I've accepted their report. As a result of the recommendations, I've appointed Jan as the interim director of civic engagement, and I thank her and our entire task force for performing the complex and detailed tasks necessary to lay the center's operational foundation. Over the coming months, she will conduct interviews with campus and community civic engagement subject matter experts, review relevant civic engagement literature and documents, and develop recommendations for the center's governance, staffing, and resource development, among many other tasks. Although it will take a while for the center to become fully operational as a campus community unit, I want to stress that Illinois State's core value of civic engagement will remain stable and strong, and that the university will continue to be viewed as a national model for engagement education and activity. Another core value I addressed during last year's message is diversity, and I at the time announced an initiative to assess the climate for diversity on campus. With the involvement of the Center for the Study of Race and Equality in Education from the University of Pennsylvania, that work will begin this semester. The assessment will include review of existing diversity data and interviews with faculty, staff, and students throughout campus, including members of campus diversity affinity groups and others. An analysis of the data and interviews will determine key findings and salient diversity themes for the entire university community to evaluate. We expect that report will be completed by the end of the first semester. Over the past year, I have met with several campus and alumni diversity advocacy groups, some regularly and some occasionally. Those groups include an informal group of underrepresented female faculty, the Black Colleagues Association, the Latino Alumni Network, the LGBTQ organization, Asia Connect, and the student chapter of the NAACP, to name a few. Our conversations suggest to me that Illinois State strives to provide a welcoming environment for everyone. But the discussions also tell me something I have known my entire life, and that is that the largest room in the world is the room for improvement. I know we can do more. I am confident we will do more, and I think this assessment is an excellent vehicle to begin our efforts. Meanwhile, I pledge to continue meeting with our diversity advocacy groups, and when national currents of intolerance ripple across our campus, I can promise you I will continue to speak out, and I hope you will join me with your support of this precious core value of diversity. My estimation is that we cannot have quality without having diversity, and so those two, in my estimation, go hand in hand. My goal of bringing more international diversity to Illinois State took shape over this past year with the development of exchange agreements with universities in China, Latin America, and Africa. Our English Language Institute provided training to almost 300 international students, which is the largest group in the Institute's history. Meanwhile, study abroad participation by ISU students increased 21% during the last academic year. This is a great start, and there are numbers to build upon. Our core value of the pursuit of learning and scholarships is the impetus behind another initiative launching this academic year. For decades, our offices of media relations and university marketing and communications have brought to the world your best stories of teaching, learning, scholarship, research, and service through an array of print and electronic publications. This year, University Marketing and Communications unveils Redbird Scholar. This is my only prop of the day. This is the Redbird Scholar publication. This publication is a new biannual publication that reveals research, scholarship, and creative expression originating at the university. ISU boasts world-renowned faculty in the arts, business, education, nursing, and the sciences. Faculty who brought in more than $18 million in grant funding last fiscal year are in the classrooms teaching at Illinois State. They are also in the laboratories partnering with student scholars. The publication Redbird Scholar showcases their research and its impact. Copies of this new publication will be available in the atrium today, and I invite you to pick one up. I think you'll find it to be very interesting reading. I'm confident that you will also find the articles to be educational, informative, and will bring a new spotlight on the research work of our faculty. As we continue to build our academic enterprise, the construction of our facilities continues, even though most capital funding remains a hostage of the state budget impasse. This year, we begin the planning process for an overhaul of the Bone Student Center, which is the most utilized non-academic facility for our campus and our community. On the final day of the spring semester in 2015, our Board of Trustees approved the construction project, which will open up and revitalize almost every area of the Student Center. Perhaps most importantly, the project will create a new and much more welcoming space for the thousands of prospective students and their families who often get their first close-up look at campus after parking in the Bone Student Center lot before walking south toward the campus quad. I note during this period of particular economic stress that most of the funding for this project is already in hand. It utilizes no tuition or taxpayer-appropriated revenue, and it will not require a new or an increased student fee. I'm also gratified that before state capital spending was put on hold, that we were able to complete work on our largest classroom space, Capen Auditorium, which was substantially freshened with new seats, carpeting, and lighting. Also ready to go for fall classes was the new Food Science Laboratory in Turner Hall. The remodeling project offers students in the Department of Family and Consumer Science a new commercial kitchen with new equipment for research and experiences in food preparation and planning. In addition, the Honors Program and the Office of International Studies will be relocating to new and improved campus homes in the relatively near future. Making way for the updated also means saying farewell to some of the outdated. And you may have recently noticed the fencing around the Atkin-Colby, Hamilton-Whitten residence halls. Asbestos abatement on those decommissioned facilities begins this fall in preparation for demolition that will commence in the spring and continue throughout the summer. I know a lot of folks were looking forward to a Vegas-style implosion, and they thought that might be a great fundraising activity to auction off who gets to push the button, but safety concerns really prohibits that. So you'll get to watch it being taken down a little bit at a time over a long period of time. While long-term ideas for that space may include a new nursing building or a comprehensive community health center, in the short term, you can look for the areas to be utilized on one end as a new home for the new fire station that will be built there by the town of Normal. It will also be some additional parking, but it's also going to be utilized as green and recreational space. There's one other campus space I want to tell you about. On Friday, September the 11th, the athletics department dedicated Redbird Remembrance, a memorial near the north entrance of Redbird Arena to remember the 7 men who lost their lives in the April 7th, 2015 plane crash outside of Bloomington Normal. At the center of the memorial are 7 columns placed in a fountain, symbolizing the loss and commitment to remember 7 friends taken from us too soon. A plaque welcomes visitors into the memorial, while the 7 names are etched into the back wall. With built-in seating and lights and located in the heart of Redbird Athletics, guests will be able to visit the memorial at any time of the day. Indeed, Marlene and I were over there the other night and had a very nice, reflective time remembering those men. In addition to the memorial, Redbird student athletes and coaches wear a patch on game days during the 2015 season in memory of these 7 men. Remember, once a Redbird, always a Redbird. Many of us also are wearing the lapel pin that has the same design on that. My plan is to wear this the entire year at every event in honor of those men. The manner in which Redbird Athletics has met its challenges on the field and off is an example for all of us to admire and follow, and I hope you will join me in following our Redbird student athletes, coaches, and staff during another exciting year. The football is already off to a great home start, and I remind you that the Birds are undefeated in Hancock Stadium since the remodeling project was completed 2 years ago. Volleyball is also moving along, winning the Harvard Invitational, while soccer, cross country, and golf round out an exciting and competitive fall semester for our Redbird student athletes. I know that this will undoubtedly be a year of great challenge. It'll be a great year of planning, it'll be a great year of working together, and a great year of dealing with some difficult issues. But I'm confident that Illinois State University will remain, those 2 words, strong and stable, and that our university family can look forward to a year of promise, success, and fulfillment. I want to end my remarks today with a note that I received last night from an alumni who was here and was being honored by the College of Applied Sciences and Technology this last weekend. This gentleman is a professor of technology, past president of the Arizona State University Senate and past chair of the University Academic Council at Arizona State University, and a distinguished professor there, and he's also one of our alums. So he was being awarded a terrific award here at the university along with several other alums. But his last paragraph of his very gracious email that he sent, talking about how he enjoyed the weekend and hadn't been back in a while and noted all the changes that were going on and was very excited to see those. The last paragraph of his email says, Again, it is with heartfelt appreciation that I was named for this CAST recognition. And I believe both the competence and internal confidence I received from my mentors at ISU has and will continue to advance my career. Every morning, I put on my college ring. It reminds me of the quote of Geoffrey Chaucer on Scholars and Wisdom, quote, one that we've heard many times, "Gladly would he learn and gladly teach." That is what we do. We learn and we teach. Our faculty, staff, students, graduates, community supporters, other supporters, we learn and teach. We learn from each other and we teach each other in that process. We will continue to pursue learning and teaching vigorously at this institution, and we will continue to be strong and stable. With that, I want to say thank you very much for your time and for your kind attention, and I will end this the way I do other speeches, and that is, go Redbirds!
Thank you, President Dietz. As I indicated earlier, President Dietz will be glad to take a few questions from the audience. If anybody has any questions for President Dietz, please come to the microphone toward the front of each aisle, or actually it looks like it's the back of each aisle. I have a couple questions that were submitted in advance. I'll start with one of those. President Dietz, with all the disruptions to faculty and students because of issues with ReggieNet and other IT systems, what is our way forward, especially in tight budget times? Do we have a plan to stop the disruptions and decrease the amount of faculty-student time spent on tasks peripheral to learning?
That's a great question. It's a tough question. First of all, I want to say how much I appreciate the hard work that's going on in that project. This is my third institution to serve that's had a migration from an old system into new systems, and they're tough. You go through a year of very tough work, and it does get better as those systems are put into place and as they're used. And so I think the toughest part is behind us, I hope. ReggieNet in particular, I know that one of the interruptions with ReggieNet was due to a hardware problem, and I think that's been resolved. And my understanding is that we're moving a lot better than we were previously because of that replacement of that hardware. The other parts of the system we're working on diligently, and I know that certainly this time, even in the winter semester, will be much better, and certainly this time next year will be even better than that. So I appreciate your patience. I also appreciate the frustration that you've had with that. You're not alone. All the rest of us have the same kinds of frustrations. I will say that we have followed a national model that has been used in these kind of migrations, because very few come in on time, within budget, and without problems. I don't know of any. And so what we've done is the same thing that other institutions have done, and that is when we run into these difficulties, we try ourselves to try to fix those issues, but we've also hired, there's a particular consultant who's worked with other institutions in helping us resolve those things, and we've engaged the services of that one consultant. So we're working hard, trying to provide a good product for you, and thanks for your patience, and we'll just continue to move ahead on that.
Looks like we have a gentleman at the microphone.
Hi.
Hi, Dr. Dietz. My name is Richard Greenfield, and I'm a student here. I want to thank you, first of all, back in July when you sent out the email that because of the state's failure to come to agreement on a budget resolution, that ISU provided the grants for the MAP grant awards. Some of my friends who received the MAP grant has a concern for the spring. Will you guys be providing the MAP grant if the state by January does not come to agreement for higher education?
Great question. I'm glad you asked that. That was a point of discussion at the Illinois Board of Higher Education meeting I attended this week, serving on a panel with community college representatives and representatives from the Illinois Student Aid Assistance Commission, ISAC, and also from the private sector, and that issue came up. All institutions, for that matter, I think, carried students who were MAP eligible through the fall semester. The student still owes that money. And so what we're trying to do, though, is to not interrupt their studies. And so universities are prepared to do the same thing, because we're beginning to register students for the next semester now, as most public universities are. And so our point is that we plan to, in good faith, let those students continue to register. So then they're going to also, though, owe fall and the spring semester money. But we think that students came here not to study for a day, a week, a month, or even one semester. They came here for an academic year and beyond to finish their degrees. So to us, it's more or less an ethical obligation to make sure that students are not inconvenienced in that process. Those dollars for us, as I mentioned, we have over 4,000 students. The actual number is about 4,300, and that dollar amount is about $15 million. It would be very difficult not to get all of that, or certainly a large portion of that, from the state to help us out with that. My other concern, though, is that the MAP part of the budget is simply a part of the budget, and it impacts students directly, but unless we have funding for the whole budget, I've used the analogy that, and pardon my farm background here coming out, but I use the analogy that MAP is basically the saddle on the budget horse. And so if we don't have the horse, having the saddle doesn't help us with providing the funding for the faculty who are teaching the courses in the classroom. So we really need both of those working together. But our plan is to let students register, and I think also as a convener of this University Public President and Chancellor group, we are committed as groups of institutions, the 9 institutions across the state, to do the same thing. My understanding is that community colleges may not be in that situation, and some may not let students register for the spring semester. The difference, obviously, is that a lot of the students that attend a community college either live at home or in their own home close to the community college. Here we have students who are in other institutions in the state. We have students moving downstate, upstate, across state, wherever, and they're anticipating an entire academic year experience. And so we hope that that's what we'll be able to offer.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your question. We have one more that was sent in advance. President Dietz, could you comment on the recent tickets that have been issued to students for jaywalking and crossing during red lights?
Oh, boy. I responded to a mom just yesterday morning early who didn't appreciate having to write a $120 check for her son or daughter. I think it was a son, I believe, who had received a ticket. I think that I know that the police, both the Normal and Bloomington police and our own police department, are really interested in safety. That's not really, hey, let's go out and try to make a buck and catch somebody walking across the street. They have done a lot of work in trying to raise awareness of students, and I understand the temptation of, rather than walking down to the end of the block and crossing at a crosswalk, that it's a shorter kind of cow path way of getting across the street just to try to cut across there. I had both the honor and the difficult task of meeting Ben Allison's family. And Ben was killed here this last year, and he was in a crosswalk. But by the same token, we have students that are vulnerable, and what we're trying to do is to protect students. And safety is our number one concern, whether you're talking about safety in a laboratory, safety in a classroom, or frankly, safety in crossing the street. Some people would say, well, what's the right amount of the fine? And honestly, I don't know. I don't think $10 is much of a deterrent. Some people have said 120 is too much, and frankly, I'm not sure where to weigh in on that. I just will say that we're very concerned about the safety of our students, and that's our number one reason for trying to address this.
Let's give Dr. Dietz a final round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you all for coming, and there will be a reception in the lobby as we speak. Thank you.